Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is Dr. A.G. Sinha, a professor in the Department of Physiotherapy, Punjabi University, Patiala. In this module, we will talk about the therapeutic electric current. Friends, we all are aware about the amazing power of electricity. In fact, the modern society owes its progress to the electricity, and it would not be incorrect to say that without electricity our life would come to a standstill. The phenomena of electricity is also vital for the very existence of the human being. Cell, the basic unit of life, is a complete electric circuitry in itself. The generation of electric current within the body is a natural phenomena, and this electricity plays a vital role in controlling many activity of our bodies. Our movements, our sensation, our perception are all the result of generation of electric current. The current existing in the body are very minute, in milliampere and in microamperes, but they play extremely important role. It is possible to produce the current of same magnitude through artificial means. The electrotherapy refers to the use of electric current similar to that generated naturally in our body in order to produce many therapeutic effects. The phenomena of electricity is also inherent to the existence of human body. Cell, the basic unit of life, is a complete electrical system in itself, and the generation of electric currents within body is a natural phenomena. These small in magnitude natural existing currents play a vital role in control of metabolic activity. Movements of our body part is the product of an elaborate and sophisticated electric circuitry that runs from brain to muscle fibers and to the skin. Our sensation, perception and recognition of things of surrounding depends on the production of electric current on the surface of the skin and the transmission of that current to brain. It is possible to produce these electric signals artificially. When these artificial currents are applied to body, they produce almost similar effects as that produced by naturally occurring currents. Electrotherapy means the treatment by electric current. The term should be reserved for only those modalities that actually use electric current to produce the effect on biological system. The therapeutic modalities using electric currents are conventionally categorized in three broad groups: low frequency current, medium frequency current and high frequency current. The principal effects of high frequency current is production of heat. Shortwave diathermy, microwave diathermy and ultrasound are the three devices that use high frequency current. The main effect of these devices are to produce deep heat, and these are often known as diathermy. We have discussed these modalities in another modules. The focus of this module is medium and low frequency current. These currents are utilized for stimulation of nerve and muscle, and therefore more appropriately can be referred as neuromuscular stimulation. After going through this module, you shall be able to understand the biological basis of electrical stimulation, understand the terminology of neuromuscular electrical stimulation, describe the physiological effects and their possible therapeutic uses, understand the danger and contraindications, and discuss the characteristics and principal uses of different neuromuscular electrical stimulation modalities. Electric current is the flow of charged particles such as electrons and ions. Human body contains large number of ions dissolved in water, and the phenomena of electricity is present in every living cell, but some cells use electricity more often than others. Nerves and muscle cells are called the excitable cells because they are able to generate electric current within themselves. This naturally producing electrical signal is known as action potential. It is the signal through which nervous system communicates with each other and with the other tissues of the body. The process of generation of action potential within excitable tissue is known as stimulation. The basis of generation of action potential in the excitable cells is the unequal distribution of ion across the cell membrane due to semi-permeable nature of the cell membrane. This creates an action potential on the cell membrane. The various mechanical, chemical and electrical events disturb the ionic balance across the cell and tend to alter the resting membrane potential. When these disturbances reaches a certain level, a sudden change in the permeability of membrane takes place that allow a large number of sodium ion to rush inside the cell and make the inside of cell positive. This reversal of polarity of membrane potential is known as depolarization. It generates an electric pulse which travels along the surface of excitable cell. The minimum charge required to initiate action potential is known as threshold of stimulation. Threshold for stimulation is different for various types of fiber and also change minute to minute in the same fiber. Fibers carrying pain sensation has the highest threshold, followed by motor nerve and muscles. Nerves that carry sensation of pressure, temperature and pressure have least threshold of stimulation, therefore they are easily excited. The stimulation of motor nerve produce contraction of muscle, whereas stimulation of sensory nerve produces the perception of sensation. The jolt felt during accidental touching of a bare electric wire is the result of stimulation of sensory nerve by electrical stimulation. The speed of travel of action potential, also known as conduction velocity, varies according to the type and size of fibers. Action potential travels faster in large diameter nerve fibers and in those fibers having myelin sheath. Action potential is also generated in the muscle during muscular contraction. Action potential can be produced artificially in the muscle and nerve by externally applied electric current. In order to trigger action potential, certain minimum amount of charge is to be applied for certain minimum duration. Further, the charge must be introduced in the body very quickly. This sets some prerequisites to be incorporated in the production of an electric current that generate action potential in a nerve and muscle. The first one is the intensity of current. The intensity of current indicates the magnitude of charge induced in a given period of time. The minimal intensity of current required to generate action potential with a pulse of infinite duration is known as rheobase. In order to deliver same amount of charge, a pulse of longer duration requires less energy, whereas a short pulse would require more intensity. The second factor is duration. The charge must be applied for certain minimum duration. If the pulse duration is too short, it does not produce stimulation, no matter how high is the intensity. For stimulation of nerve, minimum pulse duration of 0.1 millisecond is required, whereas for direct stimulation of muscle, pulse duration of at least 35 millisecond is needed. The third factor relates to the rate of variation of the charge. The intensity of a pulse must reach its maximum value at certain speed. A constant current do not trigger action potential, rather it raises the threshold level of excitable cell and makes the task of stimulation difficult. This phenomena is known as accommodation, and it is more marked in nerve than in muscle. The variation of current intensity is the characteristics of alternating current. Therefore, alternating current is more effective in generating action potential. However, interrupting the flow of direct current at regular interval of time also creates a varying current. The last factor is the interpulse interval. There should be a minimum interpulse interval. The time gap in applying second stimulus is another important parameter that decides whether a second pulse will generate action potential or not. After generating action potential, a membrane becomes resistant to stimulus for some time, and application of second stimulus of any intensity or duration shall not produce any action potential. This period is known as refractory period. Stimulus applied during refractory period shall not produce action potential. The duration of pulse and the time gap between the two pulses is the function of frequency of current. The frequency of current is expressed as hertz. 1 hertz means application of 1 pulse in 1 second, whereas 100 hertz means application of 100 pulses in 1 second. As the frequency increases, the pulse duration and interpulse duration both reduces. The variation of these parameters gives different type of therapeutic current which interacts with body tissue in different way. The net effect produced by a therapeutic current depends on the interaction between physical characteristic of electric pulse and the electrical properties of the tissue. The resistance of skin varies according to the type of current. For direct current and pulses of long duration, skin offers very high resistance, and most of the electrical energy is delivered to the skin and subcutaneous tissue, and it produces the stimulation of subcutaneous nerve. At lower frequency, a much higher current intensity is required to reach deeper tissue that may be too uncomfortable to tolerate due to stimulation of superficial pain fibers. As the duration of pulse gets shortened, the skin resistance gets reduced, and these pulses can easily pass the skin to reach the deeper tissue. Short duration pulses are used for motor nerve stimulation. The pulse duration is inversely related to the frequency of current. Higher the frequency of current, lesser shall be the skin resistance. The current of higher frequencies can reach deeper tissue without even stimulating superficial nerves. Therefore, when an electric current is applied to the body, the sensory nerve that transmit touch and pressure are stimulated first. Thereafter, the motor nerves are stimulated, and then the pain fibers are stimulated at the end. This sequence of stimulation of different nerve fiber is same irrespective of the type of therapeutic current. That means whether we apply IFT or TENS or Faradic current, the order of stimulation of nerves would remain the same. Now we shall discuss the physiological effects of electric current. The physiological effects of different type of therapeutic currents are largely the same. Irrespective of the waveforms and types of electrical stimulation, the physiological effects of electric current can be grouped under following 6 categories: stimulation of sensory nerve, stimulation of motor nerve, stimulation of denervated muscle, stimulation of autonomic nerves, chemical effects, and effects on non-excitable tissue. Now we shall discuss one by one the effects on each of these systems. Sensory nerves have lower threshold of excitation, therefore any form of electric current first stimulates sensory nerve. The sensation produced depends on the duration and frequency of a stimulus. Short duration current produce prickling sensation, whereas long duration pulse produce stabbing or burning sensation. The sensation varies according to the intensity and frequency. Lower frequency current produces mild tapping sensation, whereas high frequency produces tingling. The higher intensity of the current produces pain. The main therapeutic effect of electrical stimulation of sensory nerve is the modulation of pain perception. Electric currents were used for pain relief long before the discovery of electricity. The theoretical explanation of the pain relief obtained by the stimulation of sensory nerve was provided by Melzick and Wall in 1965 in their famous pain gate theory. This theory provided a basis for using electrical stimulation of sensory nerve for pain relief. Thereafter, subsequently, a number of devices were developed that used electrical stimulation exclusively for pain relief. These devices are collectively known as TENS or transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. The end result of stimulation of motor nerve is the contraction of muscle and the generation of muscular force. The strength of muscular contraction or the tension produced during contraction can be increased by two ways: by increasing frequency of stimulus and by increasing the number of motor units. Stimulus applied at 1 Hz produce a series of brisk contraction followed by relaxation. As the frequency rises, the relaxation time gets reduced. At 20 Hz, there is no time for complete relaxation between contraction, and as the frequency increases further, the contraction becomes tetanic, where there is no relaxation. The second method of increasing the strength of contraction is increasing the intensity of current, which allow the current to spread and reach to other motor units and activates more number of motor unit. At higher intensities, it is possible to stimulate all the motor units of muscle to produce maximum possible muscle tension. Muscle contraction, besides producing force, brings about several indirect effects which have profound clinical utility. Increased metabolic activity, increased blood flow, increased venous and lymphatic drainage, and increased removal of waste product are the sum of the immediate effects of muscle contraction. Long-term muscular contraction produces several metabolic and structural changes within the muscle and leads to hypertrophy and increased strength of muscle. Barring few differences, the short-term and long-term effects of electrical stimulation induced muscular contraction and voluntarily muscle contraction are quite similar. Neuromuscular electrical stimulation becomes a modality of choice in condition where muscular contraction is desired but patient is unable to produce it due to pain, injury, immobilization or neural damage. Neuromuscular electrical stimulation nowadays are also used as an adjunct to training program of athlete for muscle strengthening. The artificial contraction of muscle are also used in developing machines that may help a neurologically disabled person to execute activities of daily living independently. These machines are known as functional electrical stimulator. Long duration slow rising pulses are used to produce stimulation of a muscle whose motor nerve is absent. This contraction provides a trophic stimulus and delays the atrophy. The another effect of electrical stimulation is chemical effects. Current flowing in one direction produce electrolysis reaction at electrode and cause accumulation of chemical substances at skin electrode interface. This may produce irritation of skin and chemical burn. The chemical effects of electric current is used to deliver medically useful iron inside the skin. This method is known as iontophoresis. The ability of electric current to affect permeability of cell membrane by altering the ion composition has long been hypothesized as advantageous mechanism which may be used to enhance rate of healing and repair. It is claimed that normal potential of a membrane gets disturbed during injury, and the application of a very low intensity current can restore the ionic balance across the cell membranes. Electric shock and chemical burns due to concentration of electric charges are the immediate danger of inappropriate application. Care should be taken not to use electrical stimulation over the broken skin. Stimulation over anterior aspect of neck and chest should be avoided, as it may produce stimulation of vagus or phrenic nerve and may interfere with functioning of heart. Similarly, patient with cardiac pacemakers, defibrillator or any other electronic implants should not be treated with electrical stimulation. The electric current may interfere with the functioning of these equipments. Now we shall talk about some common therapeutic electric current. The first current is iontophoresis. The direct current refers to current that pass continuously in one direction. The main effect of direct current is electrolysis at skin electrode interface, which gives rise to formation of acids at anode and alkalis at cathode. Direct current is used in iontophoresis, a technique of drug delivery. A drug in ionic form is applied at the skin, an electrode having the same polarity as that of the active ion, that means anode for positive ions and cathode for negative ions, is placed over it. The force of repulsion of same charges propel the ion inside the skin. Faradic current is a short duration current with pulse duration of 0.1 to 1 millisecond and a frequency between 30 to 100 Hz. This is mainly used to stimulate motor nerve and produce contraction of innervated muscles. Using appropriate electrodes, it is possible to stimulate a single muscle, a group of muscle, or a motor nerve trunk. In the field of sports medicine, Faradic current is extensively used following injury and surgery for facilitation of muscle contraction, reduction of swelling, and prevention of adhesion. Pulses of duration more than 1 millisecond are termed as IDC or interrupted direct current. This current directly stimulates a denervated muscle and it is used to maintain properties of denervated muscles and delays atrophy. TENS refers to transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, which means that electrical stimulation is applied over the skin. This is in contrast to percutaneous stimulation, where electric current is delivered through electrodes implanted beneath the skin. By this definition, all the low and medium frequency current can be described as TENS. However, the term is reserved for the specific use of electrical stimulation for the purpose of pain relief. TENS is a low frequency, low intensity pulsed current that produces stimulation of sensory nerve fiber. According to variation in the parameter of pulses, there are three basic types of TENS: high TENS, low TENS and burst TENS. High TENS gives pulses of short duration at frequency between 100 to 150 Hz. The intensity is increased till patient feels a comfortable tingling sensation. If the intensity is increased further, the motor nerve shall be stimulated and a tetanic muscular contraction will be produced. High TENS stimulates the large diameter sensory nerve and blocks the transmission of A delta and C fibers. Low TENS applies pulses of long duration at frequency of 1 to 5 Hz. The intensity of current is kept higher than that used in high TENS. This application gives an uncomfortable throbbing sensation. The passage of uncomfortable sensation to brain causes release of endogenous opiates, which inhibit the upward transmission of pain stimulus and induce a feeling of well-being. Burst TENS combines the parameter of both high and low TENS. Here a high frequency current is carried within a low frequency pulse train of 1 to 5 Hz. It is postulated that this technique allows stimulation of pain carrying fibers while the patient perceives relatively comfortable sensation. Interferential therapy uses the phenomena of interference of wave to produce low frequency current inside the deeper tissue by interaction of two carrier medium frequency current. In this technique, two medium frequency current of slightly different frequencies are applied in such a way that they cross each other at the deeper layer of body. The interference of waves produce amplitude modulation and creates a new low frequency current whose frequency is determined by the difference of two medium frequency current. Most IFT machines use carrier frequency of 3000 to 4000 Hz to produce a beat frequency of 1 to 200 Hz. The main effect of IFT is stimulation of deeply placed muscle and nerves with very little stimulation of superficial sensory nerves. The subsequent physiological effects are similar to that produced by TENS and Faradic type current. This is the picture of IFT where we can see the interference of two wave produces a beat frequency current. The main use of Russian current is to increase the strength of muscle of healthy individual. The current was first used by a Russian scientist Kots on members of Russian Olympic team as an adjunct to traditional training regimen. Kots claimed that training with this current may produce a 30 to 40% strength improvement in trained athletes over and above that of traditional strength enhancement methods. This sparked an interest in this current as an alternative to voluntary exercise, which may be used to prevent atrophy and weakness in a number of conditions where pain and injury prevents the voluntary exercise. Besides, it could be a viable option to muscle strengthening exercise to sedentary individuals who find it difficult to exercise regularly. Russian current is essentially a medium frequency current, therefore it is possible to induce large intensity of current without producing much sensory discomfort. Thank you.